Today, we are diving into something really powerful for any modern leader. We're talking about a new playbook, a way of making decisions that aren't just strategically solid, but are also, deeply connected to how real people actually think and act. So let's just start with this question right here, because it really gets to the heart of it all. As a leader, you make plans, you craft strategies. But what happens when those brilliant logical plans meet actual human beings? Are your big decisions built purely on spreadsheets and data? Or are you factoring in the messy, sometimes unpredictable, but always fascinating world of human behavior? All right, here's a quick look at where we're going. We'll start with the leader's main challenge, look at two different lenses for making decisions, then see how to connect logic and people. After that, we'll see what this looks like in the real world, and finally, what the ultimate goal of all this really is. Okay, first up, the leader's dual challenge. This is all about trying to steer the ship through complex waters in a world that's, it's driven by people. And people can be pretty unpredictable. Think about this for a second. You've got your 5-year plan, right? Your quarterly targets are all laid out. Everything looks perfect on paper. But then reality hits. Your team pushes back on a change you thought was a no-brainer, or customers just don't respond to a new product the way all your models said they would. That right there is the constant balancing act. Your clean, long-term plan versus the immediate and sometimes totally irrational human reaction. So how do we handle that challenge? That brings us to section 2. We need to look through two different lenses when we make decisions. These are really the core components of what you might call smarter leadership. And this table lays it out perfectly. On one side, you've got your classic strategic thinking. That's all about analysis, logic, the long-term goals. It's the what and the why of your plan. But on the other side, you have behavioral insights. This is all about intuition, human biases. It's the how people are actually going to react. A great strategy, a winning strategy, absolutely needs both. Now, to really get that second lens, you gotta understand this term, behavioral economics. And hey, don't let the name intimidate you. All it means is the study of how people actually make choices, not how some perfect economic model says they should. For instance, it's the reason most of us feel the pain of losing $10 way more than the joy of finding $10. For a leader, understanding these little hidden drivers, that's a superpower. It really is. Which leads us right into section 3, connecting logic and people. Because this, right here, this is where the magic happens. This is where you unlock real, lasting strategic power. So, and this is so important, the whole point isn't to throw out your data. It's not about choosing to be a numbers person or a people person. The real goal is to integrate them. You use your analysis to plot the course, but you use your behavioral insights to navigate the actual human terrain you'll encounter. When you put them together, you get a much more complete, much more realistic picture of the road ahead. So how do you actually do this? Well, here's a simple but really powerful 4-step process. First, you analyze your objective, just like you always would with data and logic. But then, and this is the game changer, you anticipate. You stop and ask, what is the likely human reaction here? Then, you can craft a strategy that accounts for both the plan and the people. And finally, and this is key, you adapt. You see what happens in the real world and you adjust. It's a living, breathing process, not some dusty document on a shelf. Okay, so what does this all mean when the rubber meets the road? Let's talk about strategy in the real world. What are the practical, tangible benefits of thinking this way? Well, bringing these two lenses together gives you a massive advantage. It helps you cut through the noise and navigate complexity with more confidence. You can assess risk way more accurately, you can stay adaptable. Why? Because you're finally accounting for the single biggest variable in any plan, the people. And all of that brings us to our final section, the ultimate goal. At the end of the day, what are we trying to do here? It's about making decisions that aren't just ambitious, but are also actually achievable. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? The goal is to make decisions that are both visionary and grounded in real-world understanding. It's being able to have that big, bold vision, but to do it with your feet planted firmly in the reality of how people think, feel, and act. It's how you finally get that balance right between the plan and the people. So let's wrap this all up. The big takeaway is this. This isn't just some academic exercise to make better flowcharts. It's a fundamental shift to a smarter kind of leadership. It's about finally building that bridge between your most ambitious visions and the very people you need to bring them to life. So I'll leave you with a question to think about. consider the most important project your team is working on right now. What's one hidden human bias? Maybe it's overoptimism, maybe it's a fear of the new, maybe it's just the tendency to agree with the boss that could be quietly shaping its outcome. Honestly, taking a moment to answer that question might be the most strategic thing you do all day.